Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. Inflation today, bad news. Much stronger than expected. Rising 0.6% in January, 7.5% over the last 12 months. Over the past 3 months, by the way, the CPI has now hit 8% at an annual rate. So price increases and price pressures are getting worse, not better. Grocery prices up 9.4% last 3 months at an annual rate, almost 7.5% for the year. And get this, electricity prices up 21%, overall energy up 18%, clothing up 12%, gasoline up 22%. If you're a hardworking, middle-class, blue-collar family, the inflation tax is hitting you hard. This is for production and non-supervisory workers, not the big-shot managers. Production and non-supervisory workers. Wages have increased 6.9% over the past year. That's wages, 6.9. But prices up 7.5%. So the harder you work, the less you're taking home. And this is a very serious problem, why inflation is the #1 problem in the country. And unfortunately, there's no end in sight. Now, we've saved America by killing the spending bill, but I guess the new mission now is to save America and kill inflation. Right now, there is no action on the horizon that will kill inflation. The culprit at this point is really the Federal Reserve. We're in the midst of a price and wage spiral, meaning prices are going up so fast that the workforce must demand higher wages. It's not the workers' fault, it's the government's fault. There's far too much federal spending, which is still in the pipeline, but it was enabled and accommodated by vastly too much Federal Reserve money creation. As this first chart shows, the Fed's balance sheet, and that's the raw material for money supply growth, that's increased by $5 trillion in the last 2 years. $5 trillion. It is unprecedented. In short, the central bank has been buying all those bonds from Uncle Sam's massive deficit spending. Now, as the next chart shows, using a 3-year smoothing average to make some sense of it, the average annual rate for the money supply has moved from 5% growth to 14% growth in a mere 2 years. We have not seen anything like this since the 1970s, and frankly, I'm not sure it got any higher in the 70s. In addition, with all this excess money creation by the central bank, check this out, an index of commodity prices has increased by 70%, as shown by the next chart. Look at that. We've never seen anything like this. All right, government spending, Fed bond buys, money supply increases, commodity price explosion. We're not talking about just a few prices. We are talking about virtually all prices that are going up. That is a monetary phenomenon. It's not about containers in Los Angeles and Long Beach, one-time things. It's not even about truck drivers or the pandemic. It's all prices rising, not just a couple of prices, which can only be traced to monetary excess. And that's what's taxing the middle class. And that's what's taxing the lower incomes even more. Save America, kill inflation. Now, the president continues his misguided confidence in his Treasury Secretary's advice. She, Madam Yellen, keeps telling him inflation is going to fall to 2% by year's end. No, it won't. Not a chance. Monetary policy changes work with long and variable lags. It will take 2 or 3 years to remove the punch bowl. Today's inflation was baked into the cake in 2020 and 2021, and that continues here in 2022. You see what I mean? Any changes we might make in this year or next year won't be felt until 2024, 2025. And the sad part is the Fed continues to buy bonds. We're buying the government deficit, still doing it. That's fueling more money growth, and that's actually fueling more inflation. They are making the problem worse. And by the way, it's an interesting side point. This commodity price explosion indicates just how much your money's value has declined. Commodities are a very good benchmark for dollar value. You know, what's in your wallets and pocketbooks. Commodities exploding up means the dollars in your bag are going down. Now, a senior administration official today pointed to the Fed's independence. Now, that's a good thought. The presumption is leave the Fed alone and they will take care of business. But why is the White House appointing these far-left woke radicals like Sarah Bloom Raskin and Lisa Cook? They're not worried about inflation. They're worried about climate change and a bunch of left-wing social policies. They're not worried about inflation. This is a big problem. They're appointing the wrong people. 40 years ago, Ronald Reagan worked with Paul Volcker to vanquish inflation. Okay? Reagan cut taxes. Volcker curbed the money supply. The tax cuts rejuvenated the economy. Curbing the money supply improved the value of the dollar and lowered inflation. All good. Unfortunately, today, I don't see a Reagan, and I don't see a Volcker. Do you? Save America. Kill inflation. Tough story.